From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show. And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues we really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio with an email from Natasha. Natasha writes and it says, Tom, I enjoy your show, but there is something about the way you promote abortion all the time that really bothers me. I recall you saying that women are selfish and have babies to make themselves feel loved or trap men. She says, in my opinion, the men are selfish when they leave their pregnant girlfriends and do not take responsibility for their actions. They need the women to pick up 100% of the responsibility. I have heard you say to men several times, where is your father when you needed him? Mixing tenses there. Well, says Natasha, he was probably took your advice. I'm reading this verbatim. He was probably took your advice and left before he was born. Then Natasha says, Tom, if men could get pregnant, they would all have abortions and there would be no procreation. Come on, Tom. Abortion is not the answer all the time. Let me first take Natasha's illiterate email here, and then we'll deal with the topic in general. Indeed, I think that having a baby is the most self-centered, selfish thing anybody can do. Now, people hear that and they take it as a criticism. I do believe we all do what's best for ourselves or what we want for ourselves. We all do what we want. We don't worry about what's best for others. We worry about what's best for us. We worry about what we want, what makes us happy, what floats our boat. We don't care what happens to the others. Women do not have babies for the benefit of babies. We generally do not have babies to benefit the men who impregnate the men who impregnate them. They don't. They have babies for their own agendas, which are, yes, they want to feel loved. Yes, they want to trap men into relationships they don't want to be in. Yes, they want money from men. Yes, they want to have a baby at all costs. Even if not having a father around would not be good for the baby, what do they care? They want to fulfill themselves. This is just fact. Now, she says men are selfish when they leave their pregnant girlfriends and do not take responsibility for their actions. What are actions? They had sex? I tell men on this show all the time, live up to your legal responsibilities. And the only responsibility you have when you impregnate somebody and they refuse to have an abortion is that you have to pay child support. And I say, don't get yourself in trouble with the law. Don't end up having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars with interest down the line. Confront the situation and do what you're legally required to do. But you're not required to do anything else. And I say, you know what? If some broad got pregnant trying to rope you into a relationship, you should not give her what she wants. That is not doing the right thing. It's doing the wrong thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. If a woman wants to have a baby without a man around, she should take the responsibility. Now, women rarely take 100% of the responsibility because men are forced to pay child support. That is part of the responsibility. For a man, it is 100% of the responsibility. But if a woman wants to go ahead with a pregnancy without a man's consent, then she should have, the vast majority of the responsibility for raising that kid. Period. When I talk to guys about where their fathers are, essentially I'm saying that their mothers had sex with deadbeats, sex with losers, sex with abusers, sex with irresponsible individuals. That's what I'm saying. Your father's not around because your mother had sex with the wrong person and then decided to have a baby with that person. I mean, if a guy doesn't want to be a father and a woman wants to be a mother, that's not a match. I'd say, ladies, if you insist on having sex with a guy who you know doesn't want to be a father, put a diaphragm in there. Do it. Why do women insist on having babies with guys who don't want to have babies? And the answer is simple. They want to get money out of them, or they want to keep them in a relationship they don't want to be in. Women don't want to take responsibility for that. And finally, Natasha in her letter says if men could get pregnant, they would all have abortions, and there would be no procreation. Well, there'd be some. But believe you me, when there's a male birth control pill, unwanted pregnancies are going to drop dramatically. Because it's men who end up paying the bulk of the expense when these mistakes, and I put that in quotes, when these mistakes happen. It's men who pay. It is. I can't wait for the male birth control pill. I'll do the clinical trials. I'm ready. I won't forget to take it because I don't want to have a baby. People who forget to take the pill want to have a baby. Don't you understand? They want to have a baby, but they don't want to take responsibility for the decision. Oops, I forgot. Oops. Something happened to me. It's the old Virgin Mary syndrome, Ooh, I didn't have sex. Poof, I got pregnant. Right? Women don't want to take responsibility, so they just say, ooh, I forgot to take the pill again. That's 3 days this week. I forgot. They forgot on purpose. If your woman tells you she's forgetting to take the pill, run. But for those of you new to this program, I have been I've been the man who paid for 4 different abortions, and I not only paid for them, I not only have not felt a minute of guilt about it, I am proud of it and recommend it to others. Had I not done that, I would not be sitting before you now. Because I would have had to work a friggin' day job to pay for diapers, and I would not have been able to work my way up in this business and become the multi-million dollar man I am today. The reason I'm a multi-millionaire is because I never let some bitch talk me into having her baby. Ever. And when we had an accident using birth control, I made sure I was with somebody who would have an abortion if I didn't want to have a baby. That was it. And they did. 4 pregnancies, 4 abortions. Best thing I ever did for myself. Every once in a while I get one of these emails, ooh, it's not the answer. Abortion is not the answer. I can't believe you promote abortion. Why not? It's legal, it's safer than pregnancy, and it will save your career and pretty much save your life. What's wrong with that?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I don't think you're anything like your air personality.
Maybe this is just a small slice of the whole pie.
Good or bad?
I guess I have to leave that up to the rest of humanity to decide.
The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Let's go to your calls here. It's Jess on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
I'm just calling because I wanted to say to any guys listening that I think it's really irresponsible to stay with a woman just because she's pregnant. Because I know my parents were in love when they had me. I mean, it was a decision that they agreed upon together. But the fact is that when things went sour between my parents, one of the reasons that my mom felt she should stay with my dad was because there was a kid involved. And actually, it was way more traumatic for me to have parents together who were fighting all the time and hated each other. I mean, I think it's the same way around. Like, if you're a guy not wanting to have a child in your life,
Right.
and this woman's trying to rope you into the relationship, you're just going to make it harder on your kid if you stay in an unhappy relationship with someone that you didn't want to be with long term.
I totally agree. But I think people shouldn't be having kids with people they can't foresee being around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it's just a one-night stand, if you feel comfortable enough with someone to be having sex with them, you should be comfortable enough agreeing that, like, if you are, if it happens, if you end up getting the girl pregnant, you agree on what's going to happen. Because I would.
No, but women can have sex without ever worrying about it. A woman never has to worry about getting that phone call. You owe me.
Dude, but that's...
You have to live up to your responsibilities.
Oh, God, that's awful. See, but that's why I have protection. And, any guy I felt comfortable enough to sleep with, even if it's just a hookup, I'm always like, let's talk about it. Just so you know, my first boyfriend was, hardcore Catholic, and I had to sit down with him and say, hey, just so you know, if there is an accident, if I do get pregnant, you have to be okay with the fact that I'm going to have an abortion. And it works both ways. If it was a guy and I didn't want to have an abortion, I'd have to be prepared to have that conversation with him and say, you know what? We can't have sex together.
Well, that's the decent thing to do. But the reality is many women have an agenda to either snag a boyfriend or snag a husband, or they have an agenda to snag somebody's bank account.
Yep. Although they must not be thinking about how much more it's going to cost them to have the kid. Oh, my God.
Well, women are not exactly generally savvy about saving or investing or even numbers.
I know. It's unfortunate that most women are that way.
They just don't think about it.
Or they're not encouraged to.
Oh, I encourage them to do it.
I know. That's why I listen to you.
That's why I said I couldn't believe there was a magazine they put out once called Money. You know Money magazine?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
Well, that's my point, because you have a vagina. They put out a version called Money for Women. And I'm like, what does that mean? Big print? There's some pastel colors? I mean, money is money. Why do you need money for women?
Oh, I agree.
And the answer is because women don't like talking about saving and investing money. They like talking about spending it.
And like I said, I think it's unfortunate that that's encouraged. The same way I called to say I think it's unfortunate that, women think it's okay, or even that guys think it's okay to be pressured into being in a situation where they're not really happy with the person they've got a child with. Because, I'm calling because my situation was the reverse. It's not that my dad felt pressured to stay with my mom. It's my mom felt pressured to stay with my dad. So.
And when did they think you were old enough to deal with the truth?
Oh, when I was 18.
Oh, my God.
And they were fighting all the time. And I said to my mom, why didn't you ever divorce him? He's been like this, as long as I can remember. And she said, well, I had you. And I was just I could not believe she pinned that on me.
There you go, a little guilt trip for you. Isn't that nice?
Oh, it was sweet.
Well, thank you, Jess.
Can you send me out old school?
Of course I can. on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, baby, what's going on, Tom?
Oh, not much. Doing my thing here.
Oh, right on, right on. Well, first I got to tell you, love the show, and you've changed Phoenix and what we listen to on the way home.
Love that.
Love you. And I was calling because, some friends and I, we listen to your show, and we love to just, over the water cooler, talk about some of the things you talk about. And one thing we just get a big kick out of is this, that us chicks are dream killers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're, everything you call us, you're on the dot. We're all the above. We're those bitches, hoes, sluts, cheaters,
right.
snakes, the depository, sperm depository, all of it. But the dream killer, any man, I have no love for any man who lets a woman squash his dreams because he has it coming to him. In the same sense that I have no love for a woman who stays with an abusive man for years and has children from him and then complains about it to you,
Oh, believe me, I think everybody gets what they deserve.
Absolutely. And
everybody.
So, the dream killer, that's kind of harsh. Don't you think that, like I said, that man who doesn't have that firm enough grip on his own balls to say, hey, wait a minute, you're not.
Well, when you say a firm enough grip on his balls, it usually has to do with a man who is getting sex and gets a piece of ass that he likes.
All right.
And so men are so obsessed with getting laid that they lose all reason. And they will forget that, if you would only stick with your dreams and work hard and keep your nose to the grindstone, when you succeed and you become a doctor, an architect, a rock star, whatever it is,
right on.
You will get hotter, younger chicks.
I totally agree.
And so guys should never settle until they've realized their dreams.
Absolutely. I guess that goes for everyone, Tom.
They're just selling themselves short.
Absolutely. I agree. So, I just wanted to call, and I'm actually surprised that I got through. It's nice to have on the other end of my phone, and not listening to you on the radio. This is cool.
See that?
This is cool. But that's all. And I just wanted to say that and love you, and if you can take me out tribal style.
Of course I can.
Oh, thank you.
Steve on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What up, Tom?
Not much, Steve.
I just want to call and tell you about that woman that wrote you email about having babies and men leaving them and stuff and all the abortion stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm kind of one or two ways. Morally, I don't think it's right to have an abortion. If a man and a woman are responsible enough to have sex, and if the woman gets knocked up, whether or not they use protection, birth control, a shot, a condom, whatever, none of them are 100%
right.
I believe that they should have the baby.
Well, then that's what you should do. But what other people do is none of your business.
True. But at the same time, I mean, well, that's beside the point. The other point that I want to make is,
by the way, if any woman I am with ever becomes pregnant again, there'll be another abortion. I'm telling you right now.
But I don't understand why if you're responsible enough to have sex, why would you?
I believe that is responsible. I believe not having unwanted children is very responsible. That's my belief, and that's why I will do what I think is right, and you will do what you think is right.
All right, you have a point there. Do you think it's right that, what I was going to say earlier is I do think it's right that if a rape victim were to get pregnant, then I think, then, hey, you know what?
I think anybody should be able to have an abortion.
Okay.
I think what other people do is none of your business.
But it's, I don't know. I just, morally, it's like there's, because, all these...
Again, we all have different morals. We all have different morals. Some people don't believe in eating pork. Some people don't eat meat on Friday. Some people are polygamists. Everybody has their own morality.
Well, those people are just weird. I mean,
Well, that's your opinion.
Pork is good. I mean,
They think you're weird.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, so we all have our own morality. If you think abortion is wrong, don't have one.
Well, I actually, believe it or not, I have 2 kids because, I mean, I feel that strongly about it, you know, and unfortunately it wasn't from a wife or a girlfriend. It's not from my girlfriend who I'm with now that I've been together for 4 years. It was from a booty call, one of my old neighbors, she is my fiance now, I'm sorry. We were together for 4 years, high school sweethearts. We were together for 4 years. We broke up for 3 years, and in the middle of those 3 years, because honestly I'm a guy, I'll admit it, I can't keep it in my pants. You know, I cheated on her, this and that. So we broke up.
Well, how moral is that? All right, when did you become a moral authority, Mr. Cheater?
Never, really.
That's my point. Who are you to be lecturing other people on morality?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You have a lot of nerve calling in here and telling other people what's moral. Cheater.
Sir, like I said, I admit it. I was wrong. I was young, you know. And,
You're still young.
Wow.
And you're too young to be having babies or talking about getting married or whatever you're doing over there. But clearly you're a loser. You have no plan for life. Did you go to college?
Absolutely. I went to college.
A real one?
I went to a trade school. I'm sorry.
That's not a college.
I am a certified welder in the elevator union, and I make roughly around $85,000 to $90,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
At 22 years old. So honestly,
well, by the way, you're not going to go much higher than that. You'll be as good as that may be now. Get used to it.
Well, true. I mean, I've only been here for about near a year and a half, 2 years now. But when I found out that I had those 2 kids, I went out and I got me the best paying friggin' job I could find. You know, I went to welding school. I got.
Yeah, but the point is, why were you having sex without a condom?
I was having sex with a condom. But like you said, accidents happen.
Uh-huh.
And I
Isn't it amazing how some people have more accidents than others?
Well, the first one, she was on the pill, and
you weren't using a condom.
Huh?
And you weren't using a condom.
True. The first time. Just the first.
So first you lie to me and say you were using a condom, and then I pop you like a zit, and I find out you weren't using a condom. So, Mr. Morality, let's review. Cheated on your girlfriend, and had sex, you were a fornicator, and on top of that, you lied to me about using a condom, which you didn't use a condom. And then you think you have the right to call up here and lecture the rest of the world about what's moral and immoral. You don't know what's moral and immoral.
No, I didn't at the time.
You still don't.
Okay.
By the way, I'm thrilled that you're such a moral guy because guys like you, I'm going to need guys like you to put oil in my car, wash my windows, put my groceries in a bag. I'm thrilled there are guys like you out there. I think it's great. All you undereducated people who like to preach about morality, you are the guys who are going to be putting tires on my car at Costco. I think it's spectacular.
Hey, you know what's funny is I actually used to put tires on at Sam's Club.
Sure you did. And that's why I'm thrilled there are guys like you out. That's what I'm saying. I know what guys like you are like. We did a show about that. I asked people to call in and tell us a job that somebody has because they knocked up their girlfriend when they were in high school. I know what kind of jobs you guys have. All you guys who love to call talk shows and say you don't believe in abortion. You'll be shining my shoes. Thank you.
Well,
you'll be cleaning my spittoon.
We'll see about that when that one day comes or whatever.
You guys missed a shrub over there. Could you go trim that? How's your 6 kids?
Also,
Yeah.
Hey, I also want to let you know, Tom, that I'm a lifelong listener as well.
Well,
I love your show.
I am glad to hear that.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Yeah, I don't believe that chivalry's dead. I just think it's wounded. I'll open a door for a woman, but by the same token, I'm expecting something in return.
Yeah, see, I open a door for a woman if I think she's about to unzip my fly.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Talking about the email I received from a woman who's upset that I, as she puts it, promote abortion all the time. I'm thrilled. I paid for 4 abortions. Best thing I ever did. Susan, on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Love your show.
Thank you.
I'm calling because I want to say I totally agree with your point of view. I am a strong advocate for abortion, having had one myself when I was 19. And I'm now in my 30s. And I just see and hear all these women who say, well, it's so immoral, I can't possibly think of doing that. And when they have, in my mind, no right to be raising kids, if you're not responsible enough to protect yourself against it, you're not responsible enough to have the kid.
Yeah.
And that's the way I strongly feel, and I wish more women would think that way, because I think it's a bad situation for them, for the guy involved, and for the child, most importantly.
Yeah.
And it's selfish.
Yep. Totally agree with you. Kathy, on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Great.
Good. I like your show.
Thank you.
But, you know, I don't disagree with abortion, but I was wondering why you don't have sterilization for men and women instead of having to make such a hard
Well, because many people don't want to have a kid today. But they might want to have one when they're 30 or 35, and that's fine.
But if there are people who are such as yourself and myself, why not permanently make that
Well,
decision?
my own case, it's boring to talk about on the air. Briefly, I've just had bad experiences with doctors. And so for me, getting surgery down there is daunting. But it's not about me. It's about people in general. And most of the guys listening who call in and are 25 and their girlfriend wants to have a baby, they may want to have a kid, but they don't want to have one now.
I agree. And I think that if you're not prepared for a child and you haven't planned for it, you should consider your options.
Right. Like an abortion.
Yes.
Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome. You have a great day.
You too. Corey, hello.
Tom, how you doing?
Doing okay.
Doing good. I've been a listener not for so long, but it's been a very, very big influence since I moved to Phoenix. I wanted to talk about the issue on abortion and how it's addressed and how it affects society in a sense, because these women and these men are so stupid when they go to, have sex with each other and they go and then they get an abortion. When they do not get an abortion, what's going to take place is those people are going to end up being on welfare. They're going to end up taking from the government, basically taking from my taxes.
Right.
They're just a waste to society. For one, the person that's going to have the kid is honestly going to be a waste to society from that point on, no matter what. And the kid, in a sense, is only going to be a waste to society for the 18 years that he's under that house.
Right.
At the same time, he is so accustomed to welfare and low-income housing.
Yeah.
How is he ever going to get out of that situation, and how is he ever going to make this economy grow into what it needs to be, because that's all he's ever been accustomed to.
Well, you make a lot of good points there. Ashley on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Great.
Good. I just want to say that I totally support your abortion. I am 19 years old,
Yeah.
Made a couple mistakes, and took care of it. And I want to say you are, and I love you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that. Appreciate the call. Claire on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just calling because I heard you talking about how girls will sometimes say, "Oh, I forgot to take my birth control."
Yes.
And I don't have very many female friends because I don't believe anything that women say, and I really think that they're lying and manipulative. But yeah, every time that a girl told me, "Oh, I got pregnant because I forgot my birth control," I always ask them, "Well, why didn't you do the morning after pill?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I thought it was too late." And you can take it up to 5 days after you forget.
Yep, and there's lots of ads for it now, so it's not like people don't know what's out there.
It's true, and I'm so anal retentive about remembering that I've been 15 minutes off of taking my birth control once, and I went in the next day and I was like, I need this, I need to be sure.
Yep, women who are having babies want to have babies. That's it. Or they're just stupid.
I know. See, my problem is that people who say that they want to have children, they have a tendency to view kids as puppies almost. Oh, it'd be cute for a little while, but you know that after maybe 2 or 3 years, they start treating that kid like, hey, you're the reason why I can't have nice things.
Right.
And I absolutely hate it when people tell me, I think it's irresponsible to have an abortion. It is irresponsible to have kids.
I'll put it this way. It's irresponsible to have unwanted kids. It's the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Lori on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. You're so wrong on this one.
How so?
Why are you acting like you're proud?
I'm not acting like I'm proud. I
Yeah,
am.
you said
No.
You have another abortion tomorrow.
No, listen to me. I'm not acting like I'm proud. I am proud. That's different.
Well, getting somebody pregnant 4 times.
I didn't get one person pregnant 4 times. I got 4 different people pregnant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone with him right now. That's not responsible. How can you use
I took care of it.
A birth control method?
I took care of it.
And I can't believe, but why don't you protect yourself?
I did.
And you got...
Condoms are not...
pregnant.
Condoms are not...
Your sperm must be really strong.
You bet it is. Condoms are not 100% effective.
And none of these girls were protecting themselves either?
Most of them were.
I don't agree with that. I mean,
then fine. You don't have to do it.
I'm a holy roller.
Nobody said that we should have mandatory abortion.
Oh, and another thing.
If you don't, wait. If you don't believe in abortion, don't have one. I do, and I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, I did because I paid and I was there.
The girl's the one that had the abortion.
Well, she had the abortion, and we decided together, as she told me in each case, that if she got pregnant, she would have an abortion. And when they did, they were good to their word. It was wonderful. I salute these women. Because without their help, I wouldn't be where I am today.
But didn't you just talk to that last caller and say about getting 2 girls pregnant and how the,
Yeah, but he got girls pregnant when he did not know what would happen if they got pregnant. I had the conversation.
Well, I think that if you have sex, and you don't want a child, you should be more responsible.
I was responsible. I used a condom. As a man, that's the only thing I can do. And I did it.
Well, it just seems odd to get 4 women.
Well, you know why that happened to me 4 times? I'm 50 years old. I started having sex when I was 13, and I have sex a lot. I'm a sexually active individual.
Oh, and another thing.
Remember,
when I was switching my stations, I heard you say, this is what really got me to start listening to you.
Yeah.
Because I'd never listened to you before. I didn't even know who you were, but I listened to get that phone number.
Right.
You were saying a lady had called earlier, and you had mentioned about, you asked her if she read a Money magazine or Fortune or something like that.
Money, yes.
And she said no, and you said that's because you have a vagina?
That's right.
Why did you have to say that?
Because women don't read these publications, and they do not invest.
I
don't
make
care.
A 6-figure income.
That doesn't matter. There are exceptions to every rule. There are people who jump off a 10-story building and survive. That does happen once in a while, but it generally doesn't. Women are not savers and investors in general. They are spenders.
So are men.
Again, dear, somebody is going and putting money in mutual funds and banks, and it's mostly men, not women. Thank you for the call, sweetheart. Our email address is my name. It's Tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.